Guys, Shane with Dazzy Integrations, and on today's edition of Give It To Me Straight, we're going to dive a little deeper into the subject of the Internet of Things. So if you're not familiar with the Internet of Things, it is basically connecting people with objects that aren't typically connected to the network to drive further analytics so that you can make better decisions about your operations. Some of the typical use case scenarios over the years have been around, say, manufacturing, where they're putting sensors on their shop floors that connect to the programmable logic controllers or the PLCs. And the purpose of that is basically to get data back to a centralized point that's showing how efficient they are, showing where there may be some potential failures in the future so that you can predict that and make your decisions around that proactively. But what if you're not in a big time manufacturing scenario? What if you are a small business operating in retail? How does the Internet of Things affect you, and how can you take advantage of it? So there's some pretty good use cases around retail, specifically around grocery store type applications. So most small businesses and retailers know that one of the biggest constraints you have in operations is controlling inventory, and beyond that, making sure that in your retail environment that you position product in the optimal manner so that you drive the most sales. So there are some grocery stores using Internet of Things currently, and what they're doing is they're putting sensors on their shelves that automatically monitor your inventory. So instead of having to go around and count and look at how much product you've sold and what's sitting on the shelves manually, now this is all computed through a sensor that sits on the shelf. So it feeds that back into a centralized database so that you know, hey, I've got 14 boxes of X product sitting out on the shelf. When I get down to 5, I need to place a new order. So that's helping drive and make sure that you're being very efficient in maintaining your inventory. Beyond that, they're providing their customers with an app that they put on their mobile phone. They provide wireless access for those customers that come in. The purpose of that with the app is to drive customer loyalty. So they'll advertise specials to those customers that have come in so that they get them back in the store. And when they get them in the store, they use a technology around Bluetooth that's built into the wireless so that if they're in, let's say, the produce section and they've got a special on tomatoes, they can proactively send out a notification that, hey, you're by the tomato section, we've got a special going on for that. Beyond that, they're using location analytics off the wireless, so they can track where you go through the store to see where the highest traffic areas are. Between being able to maintain their inventory control, proactively send some specials and notifications to the customers, and be able to see how the traffic flow around their store is, they're gaining a tremendous amount of information and data through the use of the network. So that's a typical real-world scenario of how the Internet of Things is being used today and effectively. Tune in again and we'll dive into another use case scenario and how you can use it for your business.